continual breath awareness. There are those of you who may want to explore and take breath awareness further, either now or later. Here are some tips and benefits cited in the article, Continual Breath Awareness, the Practice of Awakening, which I've linked on our class resource list. Some of these observations may be useful to you in the daily self-checking into our breath awareness till next class. When we become concentrated, the problems in life temporarily disappear. They leave our mind and are replaced by whatever we're concentrated on. Like a child who falls to the ground, they begin to cry. Mommy kisses the boo-boo, and the child is instantly and miraculously healed and happily runs off to play. The attention was simply removed and replaced with a different kind of awareness. What does continual breath awareness do? With continual breath awareness, we are bringing our attention within. Everything we experience is taken in through the body. When we connect with the breath, we are connecting with everything. We are mind and body, and the breath is the connection between the mind, the mental, and the body, the physical. When the mind and body connect, we connect with everything in our world. Furthermore, to have one reliable object, such as the breath, to place our concentration on is most valuable. The breath becomes our flagpole in the hurricane of life. It is something to hang on to and something to keep coming back to when needed. Continual breath awareness allows us to control the many thousands of needless thoughts we have each day by grounding our awareness. We can still notice the thoughts, but this noticing is different than the actual thinking of the thoughts. With continual breath awareness, there's no zoning out as with dullness, and there's no being carried away with the thinking mind, so we can still easily function in the world. In fact, with continual breath awareness, you can function in the world much better. With a mindfulness and awareness that is brought about by continual breath awareness, we have the freedom to investigate thoughts without judgment, and whenever we choose to do so, which is much different than allowing the thoughts to control our minds and our world. How do we practice continual breath awareness? In theory, continual breath awareness is wonderful. In practice, it's even more wonderful. Bringing our attention to the breath is one thing, but attempting to do this all day long is another, and it does take practice and, most of all, determination. The entire practice is based on the ability to develop a relationship with the breath. There must be a desire to stay connected with the breath, both in formal practices you do, like the breath awareness exercise we're doing till next class, or formal meditation you may already be doing. And when you're not doing formal practice, in other words, when you're out in the world doing what you do, is it possible to stay 100% concentrated on the breath throughout the day? I'd have to say no. Is it possible to stay concentrated on the breath throughout the day? Here's where we have a definite yes. 100% concentration within formal meditation is something that some meditation practitioners work towards. This is often called dhyana, or simply concentration meditation. While others realize the value of concentration, they may be practicing a more mindfulness-based meditation practice where there is a nice mix of concentration and awareness. This would likely involve concentrating on the breath, and when a thought, feeling, or emotion comes up in the mind, looking at it in such a way that the reality of it is quickly seen, briefly investigated, and the rest discarded. Then it's back to the breath. It's simply repeated again. With continual breath awareness, there is the freedom to be able to simply concentrate or investigate or do as you like with both, as long as a portion of your concentration is on the breath. The words portion and percentage are of importance here. We cannot be 100% concentrated on the breath all day and still be able to function in the world. But it is possible to have a portion or certain percentage of our concentration on the breath throughout the day. To think in terms of percentages is a big part of this practice. The percentages that we're talking about here is the percentage of time that our awareness is with the breath. When starting out, we use very short spans of time to get acquainted with the practice. This is the practice in which we'll be engaged till next class. If we look at a 2-minute time frame and we notice that we had our attention on the breath for 1 solid minute, we'd say that we were concentrated on the breath 50% of the time. As you've been listening to me talk, did you bring your attention to the breath? If so, you're able to say what percentage your concentration was on the breath. How is this percentage different from the exercise we did earlier when you thoroughly focused on the breath? With an intention and daily reminders, as well as engaging in the 1 to 4 minute breath exercises we'll be doing, you can elevate your abilities and rewards of this practice quite nicely. Of course, berating yourself about it is counterproductive. We probably won't have spent the years we have in monkey mind and just be able to flip the switch off. I've been practicing a form of daily mantra for over 30 years and can testify that it does get easier and increasingly beneficial. It does not solve my problems, but it helps me to not get so trapped in them. Ultimately, by practicing continual breath awareness, we become happier. To be liberated is to have control of the mind, meaning that we can control the ability as to what thoughts we wish to think at any given moment. When we increase this area of awareness, we will be continuously aware of the fact that our joy and happiness is simply a choice. It's nothing out there that can make us unhappy. Our difficulties come from inside. The world does not have to be at peace with you, but you have to be at peace with the world. Remaining mindful of the breath throughout the day is synonymous with being mindful throughout the day. There's no difference. We are watching the breath, which is the connecting or pivotal point between the mind and body, the mental and physical, and contained within the breath are many teachings. The first thing we notice in any meditation practice is that the mind is like a wild monkey out of control. Then we notice that the more we focus on this practice and tame the monkey mind, the less the hindrances to our happiness are present. It's a form of constant meditation. Some like to place mental reminders around their living space, stick a note here and there, brush your teeth and shower while having continual breath awareness. Every time you look out a particular window, practice continual breath awareness. Every time you come to a red light, or drive anywhere for that matter, you can be practicing continual breath awareness. The first thing you do when you wake up in the morning and the last thing at night is your practice. Carry it with you always. It's your best friend, and it will take you all the way. At the end of his article, the author states, "There's no need to believe anything I've said here without actually trying it out for yourself. You can only truly know anything by experience. I suggest you not even tell anyone you're doing so, not to allow yourself to be manipulated by others, including me. Just do it. See how it works for you."